again? Sure. Okay, great. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for making time to join, especially those of you in the Philippines where it is very late. We appreciate you spending your evening with us for some updates. And those of you who are in the US, at least on the West Coast, it's also early, but hopefully you're just getting off shift. So anyway, I'm super excited to talk to you guys. If you don't already know me, that would make me very sad, but I am I'm over the experience team, basically. So I help you guys with the transition coming to the United States. So hopefully you've seen my face. If you haven't, nice to meet you. We're so glad that you're here. And I just want to spend a little bit of time today talking about how amazing of a year we had in 2025. There were so many amazing things that happened. So it was very hard to sit down and write some of the biggest ones to be able to recap with you because we did have a great year. Even with all of the immigration changes and ups and downs, we were able to welcome so many new nurses. So that was super exciting. But we're going to talk about some of the main things that we were able to accomplish last year. So what's really exciting is a year ago, we had nurses at Just Multicare, and now we have nurses at Midland Hospital, and we also have nurses at St. Elizabeth, and St. Elizabeth has multiple locations that we have nurses at. So we now have nurses in 3 different states, which is so exciting. So we were able to welcome big classes for both. And so now we actually have almost 500 people in the United States between the nurses that we've been able to bring, their spouses and their children, which I think is just incredible. Like you guys, feel like we just started this program, and to think that 500 new people, 492 to be exact, are now stateside because you guys trusted us to do this thing is just so cool. And it wakes me up with joy every single morning knowing that we get to support you as you chase your American dream and be a part of IGH. The other thing that's really exciting is that we've had 6 babies born stateside this year. So congratulations, Kimberly, Jello, Augustin, J. Pat, Jen, and most recently, Ann and Ryan had a baby. So that is just so amazing. Not to mention we have quite a few pregnancies for this year. So we're going to welcome a lot more babies this year. But that's just so exciting to know that families are growing, people are acclimating and just thriving here in the US, and they're able to grow their families here. So that's really exciting. The other thing is you can see here 3 houses were bought. That is a big milestone to be able to, because remember, most of our nurses, well, not most, a very small handful of our nurses just hit their 2-year mark in the United States. To be able to establish credit and to be able to save your money and to be able to have enough for a down payment for a house is a big freaking deal. For 3 people to have done that in less than 2 years. There's a lot of people my age that still haven't been able to do that. And so that just shows that you guys work so incredibly hard and prioritize the right things. So congratulations to the 3 of you who have already purchased a home. We also had multiple weddings this year. So that was exciting. I know Jake, one of our account managers, got to go to a wedding in Kentucky. And then we also had Selena got married as well last year in Washington. So it is just so special. And I know Melanie was able to be there and celebrate with her. But how cool is it that you guys like are hitting these milestones, meeting people, falling in love and getting married. And then of course, having families, it's just warms my heart. So the other thing is, if you guys look at the fact that we have 229 nurses in the United States and 127 vehicles, that is massive. And I can tell you, and actually a small little shout out to Lloyd. I'm sure you guys know who Lloyd is, but he helps with pre-departure. And so when you get ready to come to the United States, I'm speaking out of the Philippine side, he steps in and helps educate and give you resources to be able to make sure that you can get a car as fast as you want to once you're here. And most of our nurses in the past 6 months have been able to get their cars in less than a month after arriving in the United States. That is just so cool because it gives you that independence to be able to get to work, get around if you're in a more, if you're in a city that perhaps doesn't have public transportation. So super exciting stuff there. And we also have new partnerships that we've built. Again, speaking to those of you in the Philippines with International Auto Source, Advantial, plus partnerships with specific dealerships that have really expedited our nurses' ability to get cars. Something that we see as success when a nurse is able to buy a car, because that just means that you're able to kind of take matters into your own hands. Another big thing, sorry, Sorry, Gabby. Gabby got a click happy for me. You can click now. Going to another big highlight, we had over 100 performance recognitions. What's really exciting about this is that we had our first Daisy nomination at St. Elizabeth. Congrats, George. We had our first Daisy nomination at Midland. Congrats, Sandy. And we have 29 Daisy nominations at Multicare Health System. And 11 of those belong to one nurse named Jude. She is a rock star, if that doesn't tell you anything. So it is so cool to see how you guys are, those of you who are stateside, I can't tell you how many times we hear from managers that you guys are doing an amazing job, excellent charting, you're getting certified in specific things. And not only that, but you're truly changing the culture of hospitals because you're coming in with a type of care and a level of work ethic that isn't really the norm. And that it just makes it so special. And it's really, really cool. Brenna and I were actually visiting with a hospital recently where they were talking about bringing international nurses. And the nursing manager at this hospital was like, wait, you guys bring Filipino nurses? She's like, they are the best. She's like, they come in and they are so kind and they care and patients love them. And I'm just like, this is like the 100th time we've heard this and it doesn't get old. People love our Filipino nurses. And it's really, really special to be a part of this. So congratulations to everyone that got a Daisy nomination this year. And especially those of you who were able to move up and become preceptors and do all the cool things that you're doing. I think your hard work is paying off and I'm just so proud of each of you. All right, so this one's really exciting. We've expanded our presence in the Philippines and continue to do so. What's really cool is we just recently received our PRC accreditation. I'm sure you all know, being nurses, what that is, but basically that just allows us to be a CEU hub for our nurses in the Philippines. And that's really cool because that allows us to give back. And since you have to keep up with your continuing education and we're able to help with that, that's just a cool partnership that we're really excited to be able to like unlock this year. Another thing is we have new partnerships with schools that we were able to launch last year. We have the University of Baguio, University of Luzon, and St. John's College. And we're actually in discussion with 2 other schools now to basically help their educators. So before we were helping students come in and do the simulations, and that was really cool, and it is cool. But now we're actually even getting to help their educators, educating their educators so that they know how to use simulation equipment. So really just like getting ingrained in the Philippines and doing as much as we can to give back to the country and train the trainers and do what we can to prepare nurses even better for when they do come to the United States. The other thing that I just found out yesterday is a thing we're doing is that we are looking at becoming a certified center for BLS and ACLS. So you can get your certifications through us, which is awesome because all these American hospitals require that. And so you're able to just make sure do it all kind of one-stop shop as you get ready to deploy. So that's super exciting. Wish I had the clicker. All right, so this is a big deal. This is Gabby's baby. Gabby came on this year. She joined the team. I'm sure you know her face. She is amazing, but her baby is the NPS. And if you don't know what NPS is, that's the Net Promoter Score. That is it's an annual survey that goes out by a third party called Clearly Rated. And what it is it measures customer satisfaction. So these surveys send out to all of our nurses that are working for us stateside to get their honest opinion on, hey, would you recommend us to a colleague? Because that's really the true sign of like, are we doing a good job? If we weren't, they probably wouldn't recommend us. What's really, really exciting is that the industry average is 30% and our score came in at 84.4%. And so if you're like, man, if you're ever thinking, I know I chose to work with Insight Global and I don't get to come for like a year or two, like, did I make the right decision? This tells you right here. This is a third-party ranking based on our nurses and their input that are already working with us in the US. I mean, there are hundreds of quotes. We included 3 in here, but this is what makes me the most proud. To be able to know that, hey, we're doing exactly what we said we were going to do, and our nurses feel that. And to me, that is the biggest honor. So super excited about this. And this survey does come out. This seems a little silly to be advertising it right now because it doesn't come out until November. But now you guys know the NPS Clearly Rated survey comes out every single year in November. So when it comes out, if you're stateside, please make sure you fill it out because it matters so much. It's where we get information on, hey, what does Insight Global need to improve? What do we need to change? How do we need to expand? How can we better support our nurses? We take this very seriously. We read every single comment, go through them, and figure out what themes can we improve on in the coming year. So thank you to all of those who filled it out. We had a 61% response rate, which is super high. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. All right, so hopefully you guys know who Jamie is by now. She is absolutely incredible. She just like doesn't cease to amaze me. She joined Insight Global this year and was just like a tremendous hire, honestly. She came in with over 20 years of experience. She is a registered nurse, but she also has a ton of experience in nurse leadership. So what's really awesome about that is that she is a major advocate. And she has been serving as kind of a clinical coach for our nurses. If anyone's struggling with a specific part of their job, she steps in and helps them. We actually have a really cool story of somebody who basically was able to report some concerns to, it was Melanie, about issues in his unit that he just didn't know how to deal with. It was a new unit he had transferred to. Melanie then escalated the concern to Jamie. And she was able to meet with this nurse, get additional information. And then because of her experience, her position, her influence, she was able to reach out to the chief nursing officer of this hospital and work everything out, get him transferred to a different unit and really fix everything, which was huge because it not only helped him professionally, but personally. I mean, he really was struggling in this unit and she came in, had some conversations and was able to rectify everything. And that's just like the power of Jamie. And she's like the most humble and kind person you'll ever meet, but she is so active in what our nurses are doing and how they're performing. Major, major asset for us this year. And if you haven't read Jamie's journal, she has been sending those out. If you guys have questions, especially those of you in the United States who are working and maybe you're like, I'm struggling with this, but I'm embarrassed or I don't want to bring it up. The question at the bottom of Jamie's journal is anonymous. So if you have questions, please put them in there because I guarantee if you're struggling with something, somebody else is as well. And then Jamie can take those questions and address them in her journal to make sure she's giving you clinical advice that can really set you up for success. So please, please lean in and use Jamie. She is a massive resource. And hopefully that's really exciting for those of you who haven't come yet to know that we have such an amazing leader on our team that is like really pioneering the way for how our nurses are performing in the US. And I'll pass it off to Brenna now.
Hey guys, so good to see. Well, we saw a couple faces. I don't see any anymore, but so good to see some of you guys. I promise this is me. I'm Brenna. I just changed my hair color. I tried to get a new headshot this morning, and the headshot machine at our corporate office is missing. Couldn't find it. So I'm the director of our global delivery team. If I haven't met you, thanks for joining tonight. I know it's late for those of you in the Philippines, but I just want to talk a little bit about what we have planned for 2026, what our vision is this year, and then give an overall immigration update. I know that's a hot topic, top of mind for a lot of you right now, so I want to go over that as well. And we've been monitoring it very closely, so I want to give you guys all the deets. Gab, you can hit next slide for me. All right, so I know Damaris just did a really deep dive into what 2025 was. I think it's worth mentioning, and the end of 2023 was when we brought our first nurses to the United States. It's 9 of them, and now we have 220 nurses that are currently on site working for our hospital clients across the United States. Just really exciting stuff. The other thing I wanted to highlight about 2025 was that we hired 275 new nurses from the Philippines to be a part of the IGH team and family. I'm really excited about that number, but we have bigger plans for this year. So I want to talk a lot about where we're living in 2026. In 2026, in 2025, we made some changes to our recruiting process to get us to that 275 number. But our goal for this year is 400 new hires. A lot of you on the call have probably met Derek. He once was an educator at our Grid Academy, but now he is spearheading all of our recruiting efforts out of the Philippines. So he's our international recruitment specialist. He was once a nurse, so he's got some nurse knowledge. He's able to properly screen candidates, but he also sits in Manila, which means he's screening candidates all day, every day. Whereas in 2024, we were actually screening candidates out of the United States, which was silly because we were only able to connect with nurses certain hours of the day. So that's been a huge lift. But Derek's doing a great job working really closely with our vendors. Every single month, we're doing recruiting events, whether it's in person or virtually. But 400 is a big ask from our vendors. So I would be amiss if I didn't ask you guys here. We need some help. We love referrals. Like Damaris mentioned, nothing comes as a higher honor than you guys referring friends, family, people you love, people you trust, coworkers to us because you're enjoying your experience with us. Also, Derek mentioned that about 80% of our nurses that we're interviewing and hiring are hearing about Insight Global through Lafora. So if you have anything positive to share about your experience, the onboarding, the customer service, your relationship with Rovi, who's giving you a call every couple weeks to check in on you, we would love to hear about that on those platforms so that nurses can hear about this exciting opportunity and join the IGH family. We signed 6 new clients last year that are going to be interviewing and hiring starting in this year. So we're really excited about that. We also have a target of 10 additional clients signed this year. So we're going to have a ton of opportunity. That's hundreds and hundreds of openings that we need to start hiring for today. A quick call out on the clients and interviews. If you're not currently in a bedside role, that makes you ineligible to interview with our clients. All of our US clients require nurses to be in bedside and stay in bedside so that your skills are active and you're set up for success when you come to America. The last thing we want is you coming to a new country, speaking a new language all day, every day, being in a new time zone. Everything's different. And also you haven't touched a patient in 2 years. That would be a huge detriment to your success, to the customer. And it's going to make your transition so much harder. So all of our clients do require that. So this is my quick plug. If you're not currently in bedside, please get back in bedside as soon as possible and make that a priority. Another exciting thing that we're doing this year, and we started building this out last year, so we're really putting it into motion this year, is expanding our Philippine footprint. We have been so excited, and the outcomes have been great on site at our hospital systems here, because of the strong Filipino nurses that we have, that we felt we needed to bring more services to our clients in the Philippines. So all of you are probably familiar with the Grid Academy. You either went or you know you're going to go at some point. We are keeping the Grid Academy, but we're just changing our location, and we're actually expanding our service offerings and our location to be more fitting to be able to offer BPO and CPO services to our clients out of the Philippines and really tap into a strong market, a strong talent market that you guys offer there. So we're going to be doing that this year. We're moving from Manila to Makati. And we're really excited. We've looked at a couple buildings. We're going to make that move probably around June. So a lot of exciting stuff happening there. Additionally, we're going to have to grow our Philippine team, right? We're offering new services. We're changing how we're doing stuff. So it's important that we grow that team. One thing that really stood out to us that we want to make sure we really highlight and focus on is hiring someone from an immigration support perspective that sits in the Philippines, someone that's on your time zone that can explain things to you, maybe in Tagalog, because some of the stuff is very confusing in English. I can only imagine if it was being told to me in a second language that I would be like, what's happening? So one, that's really important that we hire an immigration support person that sits in the Philippines, works really closely with our immigration attorney, Megan and Jay, who some of you already know, but someone who just can get back to you a little bit quicker, is on your time zone, etc. That was important. And then, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of you guys talk to Rovi. Rovi's only one person. So eventually we're going to need another Rovi or a third Rovi to really be in contact with you guys and help us make sure you guys feel supported, your questions are answered, all that's happening, but also leading into the last point, which is the community building events, that you guys are feeling truly supported and building community before you deploy. So for example, Gabby has started doing the late night meriendas. That's an event we do once a month where maybe you're hearing from Jamie or one of our stateside nurses on what is the process to buy a car? What were one of the things that they didn't think would be a struggle that was, and how can we kind of create that community and help you guys feel connected while you're waiting out retrogression. And then I think the team even has some plans for events happening in the Philippines for you guys to meet, connect, all that good stuff before you deploy. So we're really excited about 2026. And then I want to talk about the immigration update. I think this is probably on top of mind for a lot of you here. So wanted to talk a little bit about this and where we're at currently. So if you've been around for a little while, you know that our program started in 2023. And when we started the program, we initially knew we were going to deploy everyone on an EB-3 visa. That was the game plan. That's how it's historically been done. It's been done that way since World War II. So that was the game plan. We found a building. We were like, we're going to do this. Well, retrogression hit like 3 days later. And that's where we realized, okay, we need to pivot. We had hired a lot of nurses. We had promised clients that we were going to get nurses there quickly, and we wanted to follow through on that. So we got really aggressive. And prior to this point in time, the H-1B visa and the healthcare and nursing space wasn't a common practice. We were probably one of the first people who really ran at it full steam ahead and started hiring in bulk and filing bulk. So we did that. We're grateful we did. That's how we got the 229 nurses on site working for hospital systems today. So we're really proud of the work that we've been able to do in that space. But it's also been a really volatile path. And especially with our most recent administration, they're really not as lenient on immigration views as some of the previous administrations that we've have been. So what has happened most recently was at the end of last year, Trump released an executive order. This executive order came out and basically stated that anyone coming on any H-1B visa, not just nurses, not just healthcare, but any H-1B visa, there would be a $100,000 fee attached to that visa filing. There has been a lot of backlash due to this executive order that we've seen from different parties, healthcare specific, some just like Chamber of Commerce business things. So there's 3 main lawsuits I just wanted to highlight really quick and talk through that we're monitoring closely to see if there's any changes to precedent or this policy or executive order in general. The first one that we felt really good about, so the Chamber of Commerce. Insight Global is a registered Chamber of Commerce partner. So this would have been a really easy way for us to, maybe follow through on the filings that we've already started or started talking about with companies like Jupiter, Sky Lakes, and Midland. And I have a little tidbit for you guys at the end, but that lawsuit unfortunately was not ruled favorable to what we were hoping. They are going to appeal that lawsuit. We're hoping to see some changes and some progression in that, but it probably won't be for a few months. The other 2 lawsuits haven't gotten to that stage just yet. One is actually being filed and led by one of our vendors who we partner with out of India. That lawsuit maybe seems weaker in argument, but specific to healthcare, we're going to follow it. We're going to see kind of what happens and the progression of that lawsuit. And then the third one is there's 20 states out of the United States that have come together and are suing the government in regards to this fee. So we're going to monitor both of those lawsuits closely. And then, like I mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce one, they're going through the appeal process now. We're not expecting to have any crazy updates or changes on these things in the next couple of weeks, or, it could be months, it could be closer to summer this year. For those of you who are planning and were hired by Jupiter, Sky Lakes, or Midland to come on an H-1B this year, we are working really closely with the hospital leaders at those clients, and we will follow up with you guys, obviously, if there's any changes or if we see any, significant updates in these lawsuits to let you know what we're thinking. All of you have already had your priority dates solidified, so we know that, if worst comes to worst, we have the EB-3 as a backup for you guys, but we are going to continue to explore the path and see it. Of course, if there's anything we can do to get you here on an H-1B visa, of course, we will do that. That is the overarching immigration update as of right now. I know that was a lot of updates for basically, we don't have an answer just yet, but we'll continue to monitor things and of course, let you guys know as any changes come.
Thank you so much for that, Brenna. Okay, so this is like what I'm really excited about. This was a highlight, probably my favorite part of last year, other than actually welcoming all the nurses that I got to be at the airport for. That was also really fun. But for those of you who don't know, we have an annual IGH USRN award ceremony. Last year, it was our first. It was absolutely amazing. There are different awards that people, your peers, your managers can nominate you for. And if you win, then you get to go to corporate and be celebrated for this award ceremony. So just to kind of recap on what the awards are, if the slide will work. These are the 3 awards that you can win if you are stateside. There is Malasakit. Malasakit is really the award that honors unwavering compassion, purpose, exceptional patient care, kind of just a very well-rounded nurse. Clinical excellence is exactly what it sounds. It is the nurse that has incredible leadership skills and outstanding clinical performance, great judgment, things like that. And then Bayanihan is really the community award. It celebrates selflessness and just the epitome of teamwork and the collective nature of Filipinos. So last year, I think the next slide is the winners. Congratulations to those who won these awards. We had Dave, Frank, and Mark win. And that was really exciting. Their peers, their managers, I mean, the amount of votes we got for these three was pretty crazy. But there's a fourth award that we also do that is voted simply by Insight Global. This is because grit means everything to Insight Global, Grit Academy, all of the things. Gritty Nurse of the Year is really where someone stands out because they were nominated multiple times for every single of those three awards. And so last year, congratulations to our winner from last year, Jill. She was our Gritty Nurse of the Year. But that's a really special award to us because we're able to kind of take a look at everything and see, man, who shines in every single category? Is there someone that stands out? And last year it was Jill. So I'm so excited to announce that tomorrow actually opens voting for the award ceremony. Sorry, Gabby, I jumped around on you. And voting will be open until January 30th. The only rule there really is that you can't vote for yourself. You have to have your peers that acknowledge that you are really a standout in this area or another. And then basically once all those nominations come through, we will have finalists that are announced and for every single category. Then what's really cool that we're doing this year is we have an executive voting board where we have invited the CNOs from the hospitals that you guys work at to be able to be involved in the final voting. So this is going to be a decision of Insight Global and the CNOs from your hospitals, which I think is just great because they're going to have visibility into all the amazing things our nurses do. And sometimes, they're CNOs, they don't have, they're not in the weeds like that, but they're going to see the nominations and they're going to see the hard work that you guys put in. So super excited for that to kick off. And just to kind of keep it in mind, I know it seems like it's far away, but April 15th through 17th is when our ceremony is in Atlanta, where we will be celebrating our winners. And if you want to pop back to the pictures from before, sorry, Gabby, if you can. These are our pictures from our award ceremony last year. And you can see in the top left are 4 winners there. They got to come and spend 2 days, and I think some of them stayed a third day just to explore Atlanta, which was awesome. But we got to give them tours of Insight Global, explain the history. We had team dinner. We had a huge celebration where our Asia Pacific group also joined. All of our executives came. And so it was just a really, really good time to celebrate the success and all the hard work that our nurses put forth. So congratulations again. I know there was a lot of food and we catered to Filipino food, which is amazing. But I'm super excited to open this for this year and see all these nominations come through and see who's going to be our winner this year. So make sure you get those nominations in until January 30th.
Thank you, Damaris. All right, last little bit, I promise, and then we can wrap it up with some questions. And I know we're over time, so I appreciate you all hanging out with us for a little bit longer. But this one's very, very cool. So just to kind of give you a recap on myself, my name is Gabby Macario, and I'm the Program Support Manager, in case you don't know me already. I oversee the consultant engagement team, which basically involves Rovi, Melanie, Katie, Chase, Jacob, all this big crew that really our main goal is to take care of every single one of you while you're waiting in the Philippines for retrogression, arriving in the US, and then all throughout your assignment with us here in the US. I want to talk about a special and first ever edition award for a Filipino nurse that is still waiting patiently, so thank you for being very patient, waiting for your arrival here in the US. This award is being called the High Character and Hard Work Above All Else Award. It's one of our shared values. If you know anything about Insight Global, is that we live, eat, breathe, sleep our shared values. We love every single one of them. They truly mean everything to us. This whole team embodies all of our shared values, and we look for those as well when we're looking to hire new nurses, just like all of you. Today, I want to recognize an incredible nurse who embodies all of our shared values, but especially this one. She has spent more than 10 years as a nurse, and just like many of you, she's driven by the desire to help others. Her compassion is super clear in all that she does. and caring for people is truly her calling. Her dream is to come to the US to reunite with her siblings and her family, but to create a better future for her family as well. She has a husband who's a chef, so hopefully when he comes to the US, he can make a whole new restaurant here, and has two beautiful kids that she hopes to provide a better future for here in the US. What makes her story even better and more remarkable is that after 7 years of being a supervisor at a hospital, she humbly chose to step down into a bedside role because she understood that sharpening her clinical skills would give her the best foundation for success in the United States. But she didn't stop there, taking care of her kids, feeding her family, her husband, who I'm sure can make an amazing meal for them too. She worked crazy hours in the ICU. While doing all of that, she chose to continue her education and get a master's degree in nursing. Her passion for learning, growth, excellence is clearly undeniable. So because of all of this amazingness, I'm so proud to present our first ever High Character and Hard Work Above All Else award to, give me a drum roll, Magnolia Dell. Magnolia, I'm so happy you're here to hear your story live and clear. We are so, so proud of you, and we are so thankful you chose IGH to be your family. Your hard work is truly unbelievable, and we thank you so much for working so, so hard all the time. And we just can't wait to keep growing our foundation with you and seeing what the future holds for you here with IGH. We'll get you a little special prize, a gift card, some IG swag as soon as we can. We'll be in touch about that. But congrats. We are so, so proud of you. And with that being said, I want to definitely give some time back to all of you to ask some questions. I know we talked about a lot of updates, information, awards, all of that. So if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask now. If not, you can definitely jump off. I know we took some extra time, but if you have anything to ask, please take this time not to ask us. No questions? Must have done a great job then. I know all of you had immigration questions, so I'm glad Brenna was able to clarify all of that.
If you guys do have questions seriously and you're not wanting to raise your hand or drop it in the chat or anything like that, please connect with whoever your main point of contact is, whether it's Rovi, Chase, Jacob, whatever, and get your questions answered. We want to make sure you guys aren't like living in the gray. You should know exactly where you stand, what's going on with your visa pathway, what's going on with your visa filing, etc. So please ask the questions if you have them.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to jump into this is Mel. I'm staying really close with the lawyers and on the pulse of what's happening with these various different lawsuits. It's a little bit different than last time because Insight Global is not the main plaintiff, but we're involved and named in a number of them. For the folks that are signed up for Sky Lakes, the lawsuit that the 20 states have raised, Oregon is named in that. Washington is too, so Multicare would be a beneficiary of it. So we don't expect to hear something until Q2. If that changes, we'll let you guys know, and we'll send out a town hall kind of email to everyone to let you know. And then the appeal for the chamber lawsuit, we were also named as a plaintiff. We're part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And so if that does become favorable, that would open up the pathway across the U.S. But the positive thing is that, for those folks, I think there's 27 of you that are slated between Jupiter and Sky Lakes, and there's a handful more for Midland. If we're not able to get you here on the H-1B, at least we've gotten your EB-3 filed, and we're starting that process to get your priority dates here and get you guys here. The other thing, and I don't know if the ladies shared it before I joined this call, but I just got out of a meeting, and we have an opportunity for 150 more EB-3 nurses to join a client in Texas and Oklahoma. The CFO of that client just responded back to the SOW and asked us to put 150 openings in there. We had proposed a much lower number, so that was an awesome opportunity. And so many of you guys that we've hired, previously or will be hiring in the future will be able to go to this wonderful organization. So not only does the 6 new clients that Brenna mentioned across these 32 states, there's another one that just happened while we've been on this call. So there's a lot of really cool things happening. We're really excited to get all of you guys to the States for those that are in the Philippines. And congratulations again, Magnolia. I'm really proud of you, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Thank you, Mal. We actually have a question in the chat from Jemima. Hey, girl, how are ya? She wants to know about her H-1B extension. I know this is a particular case for some of our Kentucky friends.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, good question, Jemima. And I know that Multicare has a bunch of extensions coming up. St. Elizabeth does, Midland, some of our folks that are in the States. We had a 3.5 hour meeting on Tuesday about this process between our immigration team internally and MU. We're going to start rolling out conversations with each of you guys, and then we'll have a kind of a launch call. And then we'll have individual conversations to get all that done. The main thing, aside from the extensions, is just some of the costs associated with it if you have dependents, for that, and as you get into your EB3. So we'll make sure that that's really clear. That's something that's on our radar. And then the travel and what that looks like and making sure that everyone's taken care of. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Expect to see invites and more outreach from us in the coming weeks.
Perfect. Anybody else? Good question. All right, going once, twice. All right. Well, I think we are good. We are over 10 minutes. Thank you all for hanging out with us and being patient with us. We appreciate you joining. This was a great little meeting. So we hope to do these more often so we can all get together and just share updates, wins, and all of the good stuff that is happening for us and for you in the future. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday season. Good night for the Filipino crew. Good morning for our US stateside people. Thank you all for being here and joining. Have a great day. And
Thanks,
good night.
everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year. Bye, everyone.